hello.
Imagine the night hung heavy over the old town, a cloak of darkness wrapping itself around the cobblestone streets and dilapidated buildings. The moon's feeble light struggled to penetrate the thick layer of mist that clung to the ground, casting eerie shadows that danced and twisted like phantoms in the wind. At the edge of town, shrouded in mystery and whispered legends, lay the Eerie graveyard. It was a place forgotten by time, where the graves of countless souls rested, their stories lost to the sands of history. The iron gates that guarded the entrance creaked and groaned, as if warning those who dared to venture inside. Catherine Fairchild, a young and curious journalist, had heard tales of the graveyard's haunting beauty and inexplicable occurrences. Intrigued by the stories, she found herself drawn to the ominous allure of the place. Armed with her camera and an insatiable desire for the truth, Catherine decided to explore the Eerie graveyard and uncover the secrets it held. As she walked through the rusted gates, a chill wind swept through the graveyard, sending a shiver down her spine. The tombstones rose like solemn sentinels, their inscriptions weathered and worn by the passage of time. Moonlight trickled through the branches of gnarled trees, casting grotesque shapes upon the cracked earth. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl and the soft rustling of leaves. Catherine's footsteps echoed with an otherworldly hollowness, each sound magnified in the stillness of the night. Shadows seemed to dart and shift at the corners of her vision, playing tricks on her mind. She approached a particularly imposing mausoleum, its stone facade cracked and moss-covered. Intricate engravings adorned its surface, their meaning lost to the ages. Catherine's heart raced, a mix of fear and excitement flooding through her veins. She took a deep breath and pushed open the heavy door, revealing a darkness that swallowed the feeble light. As she stepped inside, the air grew heavy with a dank, musty smell, like decaying memories. The dim glow of her flashlight danced across the ancient crypt, illuminating rows upon rows of coffins and statues. The sound of her own breathing reverberated, drowning out the thumping of her heart. But then, from the depths of the tomb, a low, haunting moan filled the air. The sound echoed through the stone chambers, growing louder and more tortured with each passing moment. Catherine's grip tightened on her camera, her palms slick with cold sweat. She could feel an unseen presence lurking, a malevolence that seeped into her very bones. With a trembling hand, Catherine clicked the shutter of her camera, capturing the ethereal essence of the Eerie graveyard. But as the flash illuminated the room, revealing the ghostly figures that had materialized around her, she realized that she had discovered something far more sinister than she had ever imagined. The chorus of anguished wails and spectral whispers filled her ears, drowning out her own terrified screams. The spirits, trapped in their eternal slumber, had awoken with a vengeance, their tormented souls hungry for release. Catherine stumbled backward, desperately searching for an escape, but the graveyard's grip tightened around her, ensnaring her in a macabre dance of horror. As the night deepened and the shadows grew thicker, Catherine's pleas for mercy were swallowed by the relentless embrace of the Eerie graveyard, and the whispers of the forgotten souls became her eternal symphony, a testament to the darkness that lurked within the realm of the dead. The echoes of Catherine's screams faded into the oppressive silence, swallowed by the malevolent presence that gripped the Eerie graveyard. The spirits, awakened from their slumber, circled her with an ethereal grace, their hollow eyes fixed upon her trembling form. Each specter bore the marks of their tragic demise, their apparitions a haunting reminder of the torments they had endured in life, their voices intertwined in a cacophony of anguished cries, their sorrow permeating the very fabric of the graveyard. Desperation consumed Catherine as she frantically searched for an escape road. But no matter which path she chose, the tombstones shifted, blocking her way with an unnerving sentience. The air grew dense with an otherworldly force, suffocating her every breath, as if the graveyard itself sought to claim her as its own. In a desperate bid for salvation, Catherine clutched her camera close, realizing its potential as her only weapon against the supernatural entities that surrounded her. With trembling hands, she focused the lens on one of the apparitions and clicked the shutter, capturing the ghostly figure within the frame. A blinding flash of light erupted from the camera, momentarily disorienting the spirits. For a fleeting moment, the graveyard seemed to flicker, revealing an opportunity for Catherine to slip through the cracks of their ethereal grasp. As she darted between the tombstones, she could feel the specters' desperate reaches at her, their icy fingers brushing against her skin, leaving trails of numbing dread in their wake. The path before her twisted and turned, an ever-shifting labyrinth designed to confuse and ensnare. But Catherine refused to surrender to the graveyard's malevolence. She pressed on, driven by a sheer determination to break free from its clutches. The camera became her lifeline, her only connection to the world of the living. With each ghostly encounter, she meticulously captured the ethereal entities, their images imprisoning their spectral essence within the boundaries of the photograph. The once silent graveyard echoed with tortured cries and mournful pleas, a symphony of the damned as their eternal imprisonment intensified. But the spirits fought back, their collective wrath growing with each of Catherine's successful captures. Their ethereal forms grew more twisted, more menacing, as if the boundaries between the living and the dead were melding into an unholy union. A As Catherine neared the graveyard's edge, the swirling mist thickened, forming an impenetrable barrier that seemed insurmountable. The spirits, sensing her imminent escape, surged forward with renewed fervor, their desperation driving them to the brink of madness. In one final act of defiance, Catherine steadied her trembling hands and aimed her camera at the maelstrom of vengeful souls. With a resolute click, she unleashed a blinding burst of light, shattering the veil of darkness that held her captive. The spirits wailed in agony, their forms dissipating into the ether, their tormented cries fading into the night. The mist began to recede, revealing the now tranquil Eerie graveyard, its secrets once again buried beneath the surface. Gasping for breath, Catherine stumbled out of the graveyard, her body marked by the harrowing ordeal she had endured. As she retreated into the safety of the town, she knew that the horrors she had witnessed would forever haunt her dreams. The Eerie graveyard, forever changed by her intrusion, stood as a testament to the darkness that lurked within the realm of the dead. And though she had escaped its clutches, she knew that the spirits she had captured would forever remain trapped within the confines of her photograph, a haunting reminder of the price she had paid for venturing into the realm of the supernatural. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, but the horrors of the Eerie graveyard continued to torment Catherine's every waking moment. The photographs she had taken, once thought to be a shield against the supernatural, became portals into a twisted dimension. Late at night, as she lay in her bed, the images would come alive. The captured spirits would claw their way out of the photograph, their ghastly forms merging with the darkness of her room. They whispered their torments, their words dripping with malice and despair. Sleep became a distant memory as the specters haunted her every moment. Their touch grew more corporeal, their icy fingers grazing her skin with a chilling intensity. No sanctuary remained, for the spirits had claimed her as their own, their hunger insatiable. The line between reality and nightmare blurred as the spirits lured her back to the Eerie graveyard. They beckoned her with promises of release, of an end to her suffering. Their whispers invaded her thoughts, compelling her to return to the place of her initial torment. Unable to resist their call any longer, Catherine ventured back to the graveyard, her steps guided by an otherworldly force. The gates creaked open in silent anticipation, the tombstones seeming to shift and rearrange themselves in a grotesque welcome. As she entered the heart of the graveyard, the spirits materialized around her, their grotesque visages twisted with delight. They had ensnared her, body and soul, within their eternal grasp. The once tranquil resting place had transformed into a realm of perpetual suffering, a twisted purgatory where Catherine would forever be trapped. The spirits closed in, their translucent forms merging with hers. Agonizing screams filled the air as Catherine's essence melded with theirs, her existence condemned to an eternity of torment and despair. No trace of Catherine Fairchild remained in the realm of the living. Her name, like the stories whispered in hushed tones, faded into obscurity. The Eerie graveyard claimed another victim, its dark secret forever hidden within its decayed grounds. And so, the legend of the Eerie graveyard endured, its haunting beauty drawing unsuspecting souls to their doom. Its cursed embrace continued to lure the curious, forever hungry for new victims to join the chorus of anguished cries that echoed through the night, a chilling reminder of the price one pays when venturing too far into the realm of the macabre.